Okay, I'm gonna take off the lens here and zoom out a bit, adjust the camera angle, all to make it seem like this is spur of the moment rather than something I've been thinking about for the last 24 hours. Oops, I gave it away. I went to Playlist Live DC this weekend, and I've previously been to 2 VidCons. This is not scripted. Let's get started. Happy Tuesday, Paul Talkers and other viewers. I am Paul Roth. This is where Paul talks. First of all, it was the first time they had this in DC. Because it was the first year in DC, I think a lot of things that might have been more polished in a sophomore or junior year version of this event were not as polished this time around. The detailed schedule didn't come out until the week of the event, and not even on the website, only on the app. And I think many of the participants in the different panels got changed kind of last minute or during the week because not everything that happened matched what was in the app. It was a much smaller event in DC. They shot for 5,000 attendees. I don't think they got 5,000 attendees. Nothing that I went to in Playlist Live felt packed. If you were following me on social media, you got to see that I got to watch Megan Tonjes perform on stage from like one row back from the stage. It just wasn't that crowded. I got the business pass, which was $200, as opposed to the general pass, which was $100. And the idea was that I wanted to be able to access people who are more serious about YouTube and from the creator slash support side of things rather than the viewer and fan side of things. But there wasn't too much interest in business from attendees. On the first day, there was a business day mixer, and there were maybe 20 people there at a time. There was no food available, there was a cash bar. Many of the clicks seemed to be of quite young people, so I did not go up to them. And I didn't even really go up to the more older groups of people until Asante made us go over there. Thank you, Asante. And then we met a couple people, and that was nice, actually. It was nice to be able to talk to people who were, you know, familiar with YouTube as a business. I got a couple of cards, which is nice. But the separation between the general attendees and the business attendees wasn't that well done. I strongly suspect many general attendees got into the business insight panels where they should not have been allowed because they wanted to see a celebrity YouTuber like Ricky Dillon. My favorite parts of Playlist Live were probably Megan Tonjes, panelist and musician, Tomska, great panelist, Jonathan Paula, who I think only did moderation, but he did a good job of it, and a person that I like very much, Magic Cat Jenny, one of the panelists on the smaller channels panel. She was great. She gave some like really good advice and observations during the panel, so applause to Jenny. But aside from Jenny, who is a friend of mine, I'd probably say that my favorite part of Playlist Live was Megan Tonjes. She was talking the talk and walking the walk, and it was great and real. And I cried a little bit at Oh Father, and I was just so impressed with everything she had to say on the panel. Just so good. A weird thing for me, because I'm aware of social issues and problems on YouTube, is how many panelists I saw who were big fans of or close friends with Shane Dawson. I don't want to spend this video talking about why I don't like the things that Shane Dawson does. I mean, I don't want to demonize him. He's a person, that's fine. He could potentially change, in my opinion, by apologizing for some of the stuff he does and then doing different things. But, you know, off the top of my head, racism, rape jokes, not a fan of Shane Dawson, and yet many people at Playlist Live were, many people loved Shane Dawson. And that fact that kept coming up during panels made me very uncomfortable. That is when I felt most out of place. I think it was Asante who said that VidCon is a much more curated event than Playlist Live, and I have to completely agree. That is an excellent observation. Yeah. I kind of don't ever want to complain about VidCon again because of the difference of what I experienced between Playlist and VidCon. VidCon is just amazing. Would I go back to Playlist? You know what? If it comes back to DC again, I will look at the panelists and see who's going to be talking about what. And if there are people whose opinions I like to hear, yes, I will go back to Playlist DC. And if you're considering going to Playlist, I would say the same thing. Rather than considering whether or not you want to go to it because of the event, I would say figure out if you want to go Playlist because of who's going to be there. Have you been to VidCon and Playlist? Did you go to Playlist Live DC or last year's Playlist Live Tri-State? Let me know what you think about the differences between the two in the comments below. I'd like to hear it. Or tell me anything that matters to you in the comments, because I want to know what matters to you. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say, but I might be part of a collab channel this week as a guest. And if I am, I will try to tweet and Instagram and Tumblr about it. So if you're not already following me on one of those channels, please follow me on one of those social media platforms. If you liked this video, please like it, please share it with people. If you want to share my opinions on Playlist versus VidCon, that would be very, very cool. We've come to the end of my vlog, and this is where I always say that tomorrow will be even better.